Networking is one of the best ways to drum up business, get referrals, and ensure job security. And in this episode, I'll share key tips and tricks that will make it easier for you to connect with people who are interested in helping each other out professionally. You are listening to the Self-Employed Success Podcast. This is your source for inspiration, advice, and strategies for building financial independence without a traditional corporate job. Each episode features interviews with successful entrepreneurs, freelancers, and business owners who have achieved financial freedom through self-employment. Whether you're just starting out on your entrepreneurial journey or you're a seasoned pro looking for new ideas, this podcast will give you the tools and insights you need to create a life and business that you love. Join us as we explore the world of self-employment and learn how to build the income, the freedom, and fulfillment you deserve. Welcome to the podcast where we talk about all things related to self-employment success. Today, we're discussing a topic that is crucial to success as an independent worker, and that is networking. Networking gives you and I access to new clients and opportunities. And if you're thinking about starting an independent venture, networking should be one of your first steps. I truly believe that. If there is one thing I want you to remember today from listening to me is that the goal of networking is to make a good impression so that people remember you and what you do. And as a result, they can introduce you to others who need your services or products. And so I want to share a story with you before we dive into the simple key tips and tricks that I have for you to make it easier to connect with people who are interested in what you do, your skills, and beyond. I remember accepting a speaking engagement at a college institution, not thinking that in a couple months after that speaking engagement, I would be a consistent adjunct professor at this institution. And so I went in for that speaking engagement as a result of networking with my Chamber of Commerce. And so I'm in the building, I'm doing this speaking engagement. And after speaking, I networked with the folks that were there. And sure enough, the folks that were there are the real decision makers in regards to finding professors for the institution. Little did I know, I was actually qualified to becoming a professor. And I would have never known this had I not accepted this networking opportunity of speaking at that event. And on top of it, if I did not understand the importance of networking, I would have probably spoke, did my thing, and left. But I did not because I understand how important networking is. And so I'll end with this with my story so we could dive into the tips and tricks with you. But I just wanted to share it with you to give you context in regards to the power of networking and making sure that when you're out and about, whether you're online or in person, make sure that you take the time to engage with the people around you, network, connect, introduce yourself, let them know what it is that you do or what you want. And we'll get to dive in because I remember clearly asking the question, how do I become a professor here, right? Asking for that help, and we'll touch on that in a little bit. And so I wanted to share that story with you because it's pretty impactful because today I get to teach at several institutions, not only that one where I spoke for that speaking engagement. And it was the start. And it was the start because of me understanding how crucial it is, networking that is, when it comes to being self-employed and wanting to successfully be able to run a business or generate income as a freelancer consultant successfully without having a traditional corporate job. And so that is why you're here. And I'm so glad you listened to the story. And so let's dive in and review some of the tips and tricks I have for you today. You may already do some of them. And if so, use this episode as a checklist, a check-in if you want, right? And making sure that you do these things. Or perhaps some of the things I'm going to share with you, you're not doing consistently, and you probably need to do them more. Interrupting this episode really quickly to tell you about my newsletter, Financial Freedom Without a Corporate Job. I'm excited to share my journey and tips on how I've been able to successfully navigate the ups and downs of being self-employed. As someone who was recently laid off from my corporate job, I understand the challenges and uncertainty that come with this transition. But I've also discovered the benefits and opportunities that come with being your own boss. I hope my experiences and insights can help guide and inspire you on your own self-employment journey. Check out the show notes so you can subscribe today. Now let's get back to the show. To make sure that your networking efforts are worthy, keep in mind that great networkers are friendly and welcoming. Have a positive attitude and listen carefully before speaking up. It's also important to have multiple contacts in your network and to always stay in touch with everyone, even if they don't seem useful at the moment. I personally leverage email scheduling, meaning I schedule my email replies to be sent at a later time. And this helps me stay in touch and also respect the timing the sender had given me to touch base. I'll give you an example. I'm a professional speaker, and very often I get to speak at conferences. And most recently, in fact, I reached out to an event planner asking if there were speaking opportunities again for this upcoming year. And sure enough, she replied and said, yes, absolutely. However, reach back out to me in about 3 weeks. Guess what? I right there and then crafted my email saying, hi, it's been 3 weeks. You had told me to reach out to you to touch base. And that email did not go out right there and then. Obviously, I scheduled it. So now I have the peace of mind that I know that I'm staying in touch with my network, and that email will be going out 3 weeks from the time that I was told to touch base without me having to worry about maintaining this connection. Hopefully that makes sense. Another point you have to remember when it comes to networking is that some people are more valuable than others, depending on your industry and needs. Your network is one of your greatest assets when you're self-employed. So it's crucial to invest time and effort in building strong relationships with people that you know are your MVPs and stay connected with them. Very, very important. The last insight that I want to share with you before we part today is that it is important for you, for networking to be successful for you, to be honest. Be honest about what you have available. Don't be afraid to ask for favors or asking for questions or help, but also don't overpromise anything while you're networking, right? Building a professional network is a long-term process, and it takes time and effort to see results. But the benefits are worth it, so make it a priority. Remember my story at the top of the conversation in regards to me showing up for that speaking engagement, and next thing you know, it turned into an opportunity where I became an adjunct professor. Another example is don't agree to participate in a project such as a speaking engagement that's online, such as those virtual events with hard due dates and deliverables when you know you won't be able to meet any of them. Be honest that you can't do it, because this will lead to losing credibility if you're not going to meet those deliverables and those due dates. And the person that invited you, that you networked with in the first place, is going to have a damaged relationship with you, and potentially your reputation in your space could also be damaged. And so definitely be honest. Let people know that, yeah, I would love the opportunity, but I can't, but let's keep connected kind of thing, right? And also know not to overpromise, saying, yes, I'll do it, and you can't even deliver half of what they requested, right? Hopefully all of this makes sense. I know it's a lot. And again, you may have been doing some of this already. I like to keep things simple and easy for you to consume. And so there you have it. My key takeaways for successful networking as an independent worker. And remember again, networking is a crucial part for your success. So don't put it off any longer. Make sure that you start making connections at events, conferences, through social media, within social media groups that you've joined, or just by talking to people at work if you're still at your corporate job, right? Talk to people, network. With a little patience and persistence, you'll be surprised by the results you see from your networking efforts. Wasn't this a great episode? Make sure you subscribe, share this with a friend, or leave us a comment or a review. Thank you so much for listening to the Self-Employed Success Podcast.